Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nobu Kumano. Thank you for clicking on the video to watch it. Today I have my mom. I put my mom into doing this with me. I thought it might be nice since she was visiting to do a video with her. You guys have seen her in the previous vlogs, but thought it might be nice to have a talk. Hi. So I figured let's talk about some of the things that I usually get asked when I do these Q&A things on Instagram. And I think one of the main ones is how did I convince my parents to let me get married straight out of uni, or like how did they feel about it? So I'm going to talk about a lot of things, but I think that's a good place to start. So for context, so I finished university in 2018, but before I finished university, like around November, as is the custom, I asked, my husband asked me to marry him, obviously, and then you get the aunties involved, and then in our custom you tell your aunt about it, then you get your aunt to go and talk to your parents about it. So it's not a conversation that you have, and you don't go to your parents directly and say you want to get married. So you have your aunts do that. So that was in November 2018, and I was finishing literally at the end of the month, meaning that ideally, or as it happened, I was going to then get married the next year, which was pretty much straight out of uni. So people ask me a lot, how did you guys feel? Did I have to convince you? I don't think I had to convince you. Maybe my aunt had to do the work, but you were in the room. So tell me, as someone who was just finishing school, and then there's this bombshell that's dropped on you, that this person already wants to get married. I'm sure maybe you had, I don't know, ideas, expectations that they're gonna, finish school and then work a bit and then like take care of us before they want to like start a life of their own. Or maybe I'm projecting. Maybe you can just tell us about that.
Definitely, every parent has that wish, that when their child, when they put their child through university, she acquires a profession, she will go out there, work, and help a bit at home. That is the expectation actually of probably most parents. But when yours came, what came to my mind was what happened to me.
Oh, okay.
I was doing my 4th year at college. I got married before I finished my 4th year at college. So I was like, well, it's normal. Actually, it's normal when girls finish university, what's expected of them is to marry. So with me, I had no problem.
Yeah. And dad?
Yes, I had those expectations,
Okay.
of course, but to me it was normal. It was normal because I was like thinking, if we maybe say, no, this is not a good time, the young man probably will not wait. If he wants to get married, he'll get someone who will come on board and get married. So I was like, well, what if 5-6 years down the line she's still not married? We take the blame and she blames us as well. But with Dad, his expectations were much higher than mine, because to him he was saying, well, help me understand what's going on here, because in my mind I have a girl who is going to UK to study. So how do I balance? Help me to balance the two.
Okay, maybe just for some context. So I'd already got the job at Linklaters, but because I studied in South Africa and not in the UK, I still had a bit of studying to do to sort of like bridge the gap between South African law and UK law. So I was going to move to the UK January of the following year to study, because I only started work like much later. Yeah.
So that's what he was saying. He was expecting that you will go to UK, study, and maybe start working, and some things will come later. But now he was saying, please help me understand what's going on here. But well, with a lot of convincing from the aunt Star and myself, well, he accepted.
So I never got to see this confused side of him, because by the time I got home in November, my dad was so excited. We were always cleaning the yard, because we were going to Kampela for that. It's like, always clean the yard. It's like, your visitors must find everything. He was visibly so excited, fixing up. So I'm guessing he had about over a month, I guess, to process and accept. And maybe the fact that also I kind of had already secured my future, maybe that also helped. Because I wasn't getting out of uni with no plan and then wanting to get married. So I don't know. I think maybe knowing that I already kind of had a secure future in terms of career. I had this job that I had, which was secure, which was waiting for me. Because I find that a lot of young people also don't get married because they're saying that, oh, I want to build a name for myself, or if I get married straight out of uni, I don't want to be, dependent on someone else and have to, be taken care of by someone else. I want to stand on it. But I hadn't started, but my future was kind of secure. Was that helpful in some way?
And the other thing, when he got to know
who
was intending to marry you, I think that kind of helped him to accept, because every parent wishes for their child to marry someone at least that they know.
Okay.
Right. So the person that they know and they approve, well, he knew the young man, he knew the father, and they were kind of friends back then. So to him it was like, well, I think my girl is safe.
Okay. That's helpful. Okay.
Maybe one thing that we could have talked about, is for a parent, the girl is of age. Usually there are also some fears.
Okay.
There are some fears. You worry what kind of a man, we say boys, right? Will she marry? You've got that fear, right? That's why I talked about the fact that for a parent knowing who their child is marrying, and if they are marrying someone they know. Okay. It's a consolation, right? But if they marry someone that you don't, you have that fear. How is that boy going to treat my child? Okay. You have that fear. But well, I must say, I'm happy.
Yeah, happy. That's nice to hear. Okay. Maybe another thing that I might be looping into that. You said how it's sort of normal for a girl to finish university and then get married. To you, did you have sort of like a question or concern? Because there's two of us, so I have an older sister who's about 3 and a bit years older than me, and she wasn't getting married, and here I was, the younger one, saying I want to get married first. And actually I didn't have this from my parents, but I found a lot of, not even relatives, but nosy people from church or wherever, who would say things like, what's the rush? Why get married before your sister? You should wait for your sister, and things like that. Did you? Well, I didn't get that from you, but did that kind of make you concerned for my older sister, or it was never a thing?
It was never a thing. For me, it was whoever is ready.
Okay.
Should not be delayed. What if the other one wants to wait 10 years? What if she's not even thinking of marriage? To me, it was like, whoever is ready, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay, that's interesting. And then I had a chat with Ropa the other day, and she was talking about how, I think she's turning 29, and she was talking about how she's getting a lot of questions from her mother, and even her mother even said, because she was getting a lot of pressure, she even said, okay, I'm going to give you 6 months to find me someone, because she was saying that her mom thinks that she's not meeting people, or she's being hard to get. It's like, and she kept telling me that there are no people, and she was like, find me someone, and she failed. But what we're talking about generally was the fact that there's so much pressure on girls to get married by a certain age, right? For you guys, maybe the age was even at a younger stage than for us, but why the pressure for the girl child? Why is it that by the time a girl child passes maybe 25 and there's nothing there, some worries? Is it because of the societal context of the fact that girls are supposed to has a prime and then they must get married at that prime and then have kids? Is it that you want the things that marriage provides, things like security and all that are in the marriage? Because one thing that we said was that if I were to get all those things that can come from marriage, except obviously companionship, you can't have that outside that, but if I'm secure, if I can take care of myself and all that, do you think parents will still push for their girl child to get married as much as they do? What is it?
Yes, they would. Every parent wants their child to get married. And we tend to worry if someone is 25, 26, 27, we say, what's happening? Because the expectation, societal norms, and the like is the girl child, there's a prime, like you said, the prime age when she's expected to marry, right? If we see that she's getting past that age, there is that tendency to worry. She'll get old, and maybe by the time she's 30, the boys that are probably her age who could have married her, they are taken.
Okay.
And then she ends up maybe, getting married to a widower, divorced a person, and things like that.
Okay. All right. I think that makes sense. I think, yeah, if you're not a parent, I guess you just don't get it. But I guess it makes sense that you kind of want the best possible, outcome for your child. And so, if it's looking like the timeline is a bit slim, then it can get worried. Okay. So now, so you were with us for 3 weeks. I remember when you came, I was like, this is nice. Because I got married and then I moved to South Africa for like 4 months and then moved here. So like, I never really had my mom in my space where for lack of a better way. So now, so you were with us for 3 weeks, and I'm sure you observed our dynamics. How I relate to my husband versus how I used to relate. When you look at those differences, what do you have to say about those differences? What are the things that you maybe like about the way married people relate nowadays, or maybe things that are a bit weird, looking at generational gaps? I don't know. What are your thoughts around the dynamic that you involved in terms of the relationship between me and my husband?
Well, times have changed. Times change. Your generation vis-a-vis our generation, is different, right? With us, the husband is taken care of. Cook for the husband. You give him food. You kneel. We used to kneel, right? Back then. You kneel, right? You serve him. He eats, washes his hands. You take the plates. You go wash. You do his laundry and everything. But with you, probably maybe because of your location, people are busy here. Yeah. For one to wait for the wife to prepare food,
you die of hunger.
They would starve. But anyway, generally, I think your generation is that kind of generation that has no boundaries as concerns roles. Either can do what isn't expected of them. But, well, I kind of, like this generation where there is that kind of, people helping each other here and there, and not expecting that, they'll be, fed and things like that. Yeah. Although, of course, that doesn't mean that you neglect your role as a wife.
Okay, that's true. I think context is very important, because I think she's even observed for herself. I can count the number of times I got home before 7:30, right? So if you're going to wait for me to get home and start cooking so that you eat, and this is on days, because at work I told them that my mom is around, so I'd like to spend more time with her. So that's why I was able to run away and come in. But on a normal schedule, I'll probably be getting home after 8. So if he was to wait for me because I'm the wife and I'm supposed to take care of him, it just wouldn't work. But you spoke more about the roles and all that in terms of the interaction and the general relationship, because in my view, the older generations, they had this, I don't know, reverence or sort when it comes to the husband, even the way you talk and relate, the jokes or whatever. There's certain boundaries, and you must always remember that. You watching our interaction. Am I making you uncomfortable?
Yeah, I guess you are.
Okay. Okay, fine. Sure, audience. We can skip that one. We're gonna skip that one. Okay. So let's move away from marriage and all that. I've told people a few times that, so my mom was always a strict mom. She was the traditional African mom, strict, like boundaries between parent and child. There's some things that you can talk about, some that you don't quite talk about, but always, like, generally, a parent, as most African parents are, a disciplinarian and all that. But I found that as we've grown older, I always laugh and say, it feels like now, my mom and my sister, it's not like, it feels like now a sisterhood. It doesn't, of course I give her respect as my mother, but I feel like we are much more free and we relate even more as sisters than we do as, like, mother daughter. That's the three of us. What do you think was the shift? Do you think it was a natural progression because of age, or was it conscious on your age, or did we, like, force it down your throat that you must wait? What do you think shifted the dynamic?
Well, I would say, watching you grow and kind of respecting my views concerning probably dating and things like that. You remember that I told you, if you quite remember that, while you were at high school, I said, I'm not entertaining any conversations concerning boyfriends and the like. I expect you to study and be at school. But once you get to college, if you remember very well, I said, once you get to college, once you get to university, year 1, year 2, if I hear nothing, I get worried, because that's the stage that I expect that you are dating. Because for me, dating, it wasn't like people date. I've been dating John, didn't work out. Now I'm dating Tom. I'm dating, and you get to tell me you're dating. You introduce me to Tom, to Peter. By the time you get married, I've known 5 boys.
You didn't want that.
I didn't want that, because I wanted someone who will date for marriage, not just to play around. So when I saw that you were now grown up, right, it was easy for me, to kind of loosen up, so that you'll be able to relate freely with me, and you can tell me anything.
Okay. Yeah, no,
I love the relationship that we have.
If you guys could see our WhatsApp group, sometimes my mom shocks me with, like, these words or these phrases or these memes. I'm like, where does she get these things? If you're in our WhatsApp group, you would swear that we're sisters, and I like it. I quite like the relationship that we have. Okay, so maybe as a way of closing, if you could, well, you're still parenting, but if you could redo parenting, what would you do differently, if anything? It's okay if you think, like, it was perfect and that you wouldn't do anything, but if you were to have a second take at parenting us, not others, what would you do differently?
Not much. I don't have regrets for how we're relating before then. To me, like, I had my own principles, because there are some parents who would say, the child is doing Form 3, Form 4. They say, no, I encourage them to be free, to share with me. But to me, school and boys, no, those were tangent, right? So I really wouldn't change much.
And it's separate from the boys and the dating, in general, parenting, maybe someone will say, maybe if I could redo parenting, maybe I feel like I was too soft, maybe I would discipline them more, or maybe I would use soft, what do they call it, soft parenting, or maybe, like, apart from boys and relationships, is there anything else that you, if maybe I'm now about to be a parent and you were giving me advice, and is there anything that you would say, I think you should do this differently compared to how I did it?
Okay, you're talking of soft parenting. I know I usually tell people who have struggles with teenagers, and I say, I don't remember having, problems with my girls when they were teenagers. Maybe it's because the parenting wasn't soft, and you knew your boundaries. You knew that you'll be put in line, right? If you go, I didn't really have that, a headache with the teenagers. You find that the parent is saying, I don't know what to do with this one. And then someone said, these are teenagers, just let them be.
There was nothing like that.
There was nothing like that. So I don't know whether it was maybe your nature or it was hard parenting. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So anyway, I think this is where we'll end it. So you guys have heard all the questions that you had. She has answered them. It was nice having. We've never spoken about this, by the way, so it was nice to speak about it. And she's leaving today, and I'm sad because now she's crying. But anyway, life is like that. So thank you for coming. Okay guys, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Please like, share, let's comment in the comment section. If you see a lot of your mother in here, tell me in the comment section if you've ever had this conversation with your parent or anything along those lines. Have a good week, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.